What's going on, everybody? We're back, SookyMMA, with another episode for UFC 265, but we're doing it very different today. We're doing something that we've never really done before, in honor of my boy, Derek Lewis, stepping back in there for what looks to be an interim title in the UFC. I mean, I'm excited. Nobody gets more excited for Derek Lewis fights than me. And what's interesting, UFC 265 actually marks 100 UFC main card pay-per-views since I got to cover UFC 165 Jones versus Gustafsson back in Toronto. Probably the biggest night of my MMA life / career, and pretty much what trajected me into where I'm at now. We've really enjoyed the growth so far, and with this card, we're actually going to just use the weigh-ins, use the current lines, pretty much closing lines comparing to the opening lines, and we're just going to go right ahead and make the picks. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is basically a UFC 265 pick show, and I'm really excited to get it going. As usual, we'll touch on the Vegas card that took place with Strickland I just a bit. I mean, two guys I want to shout out for sure, Jason Witt and Chris Gruetz. I mean, those guys really showed up and showed out in their kind of returns to the UFC, if you will, because they were definitely on a decline and had a lot of us kind of betting against them and picking against them. But there it is. I mean, isn't that why we love the sport, for God's sake? I mean, it was really impressive to see them just go to town in the way that they did. But outside of that, I mean, that card was just really shattered by some of the lost fights. 5-5 overall, 10 fights in total. So very much the prelims to the prelims of what is to be UFC 265, and an absolute fire card. It seems like we have the diehards on one side being like, how can you not be pumped for this card? And the other guys being like, what are we even watching?